Finally done. I'm jumping in my car. I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Throwback Thursday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. We got plenty to get into as I recover from yesterday's broadcast out at Toyota Field, perched high above the right field fence at the inline electric rock porch. Look, everything was going fine when I decided to call another thing into existence. Now, remember, 2 weeks ago, I asked for technical difficulties at the stadium so I could just hang out and watch the game. And then we had a complete power fail, like 20 minutes into the show. So yesterday, I didn't want any issues. I didn't want there to be any issues yesterday. But as I was talking to Bo Morgan from 92.9 The Game in Atlanta, I told him that I would like to have a home run ball hit to us during the interview.
This brand new ballpark here in North Alabama at Toyota Field. They have this rock porch, the inline electric rock porch in right field, which is a bar, and it hangs over the right field fence. So it's kind of got like an old Detroit Tigers feel to it in right field where there's an overhang, and the wind is blowing out. We've had 3 home runs. If we get lucky with a left-handed hitter up, we might get a home run hit right at us while we're talking to you. That would be good radio.
I mean, you catch a home run ball. I mean, that's like a walk-off right there, and it's all right. That would be pretty amazing.
So I had this couple that was sitting next to us on my left, just outside of our roped-off area, that heard this. He was listening, and he kind of chuckled a little bit. Trash Pandas were down by 4 at the time. They had a couple of guys on base. Kyron Paris was up. But I called it into existence. And then it happened. Not the way I wanted it to happen, but it happened.
Oh, it's coming right at us. What are you running away from the ball for? They get a 3-run homer right into us, and my program director ran away from the...
Do you hear the guy in the background saying, what? Did you hear that? Listen closely. You'll hear a guy in the background, and the guy in the background is like, what? That is the guy who was sitting. He couldn't believe that it happened because I called for it.
Ball, you could have caught that ball.
Listen to this dude in the back.
What are you running away from the ball for? They get a 3-run homer right into us, and my program director ran away from the ball. You could have caught that ball. Why did you run away from the ball? Oh, my God, I can't believe he ran away. I got to rip his man card. Oh, my goodness gracious. We're literally 2 people down from me. 2 people down from me is my program director, Bo, and the ball came right at him, and he ran out of the way of the ball. I can't believe it. We had a home run hit right to us while we were on the air with you.
That's Bo laughing. He couldn't believe that it actually happened. He was like, oh, you got to be kidding me that this thing actually happened. Now, as you heard, look, everything was perfect. The whole situation was perfect, except for the issue of Moulton taking cover like there was an incoming Scud missile heading our way. Okay. So as you heard, I do have a tendency to get a little excited making a call. It happens. I get excited. Remember this one from 10 years ago.
And he's going to go with a long pass on the first play, trying to get it out, and adjusting to the ball is Thomas Richard. And Richard is free. He's at the 50 to 45 to 40. He's at the 35 to 30, the 25 to 10, 50. He's going into the end zone for a touchdown. CPA, 99 yards.
And then who could forget T-Rob last year?
And now, for the first time tonight, Buckhorn trails after leading by 20 twice. The Bucks now will have to come from behind, but that missed extra point is huge, leaving this a 3-point game. And Terrence Robinson is in at quarterback. Robinson takes the snap, and he gets quarterback draw right up the gut. Robinson has some yards on the far side. Robinson across the 50. 140 to 35 to 30. 120, 15, 10. T-Rob, touchdown, Buckhorn. 75 yards. And just like that, it's an Alpha Insurance. Joe David Cantrell, touchdown. And the Bucks up back in front.
I get excited. All right, speaking of baseball, we have Josh Carey coming up at the bottom of the hour with a Carey's Corner. We'll talk some country hardball with him. Ohtani last night struck out his 500th batter, and coupled with his 134 home runs, he now joins a list of two. Just two. There's nobody else. Not five. Two. That's it. A list of two. Him and Babe Ruth. Two. Ruth pitched 501 strikeouts and had 714 home runs, according to Elias, by the way, which is considered official. Some places you look it up and it'll say, like, Baseball Reference, which I have great respect for, will have Ruth at 488. Elias went back through everything. There was sketchy record keeping back then. They got him at 501. So that's what's considered official. Is Ohtani a Hall of Famer right now? I mean, you know he's only played 6 seasons. So he's short of the 10-year minimum requirement. You know the Hall of Fame has a requirement. Everybody knows about that. You have to be retired for 5 years to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. You also had to have played 10 seasons of Major League Baseball. 10 years in the majors to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. He's short of that 10-year minimum requirement. He's got 4 more years to go. What if the unthinkable were to happen and he had a career-ending injury? I mean, what then? Could they, is he a Hall of Famer right now? What if his career didn't make it to 10 years? I got another baseball thought that I want to get into, too. And you know why? Because it's baseball season. Like, dog, why aren't you talking about the 13-year-old kid that's playing left tackle at Pinson Valley High School? I mean, you know. No. I got my football stuff. I always have my football stuff. But it's baseball season. Anyway, I got another. It's a little bone to pick with me. I pick a bone with myself every once in a while. It has to do with the issue of Andrew Jones having his number 25 retired by the Braves later this year. It'll be the 11th number retired by Atlanta. But only one other, Dale Murphy's number 3, only one other, Dale Murphy, is not in the Hall of Fame. All the rest of the other 9 Braves that have numbers retired are Hall of Famers. Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine. These guys are all Hall of Famers. I don't think you should shut a player's jersey down forever until they're a Hall of Famer, unless they're a Hall of Famer. I think if you're shutting a dude's jersey down forever and ever and ever, he should be a Hall of Famer. And the Yankees are the biggest culprits of this. Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, Don Mattingly, Andy Pettitte, Ryan Gregory, Thurman Munson, all have numbers retired. None of them are in the Hall of Fame. Bernie Williams probably has the best case. I think Bernie will get into Hall of Fame at some point. He's got actual Hall of Fame numbers. The problem was Bernie Williams is a nice guy. He wasn't a self-promoter. He's kind of like Dale Murphy. Just went out there and balled and so on. But The rest of these guys aren't getting in. Thurman Munson, I make an exception for that. You get a guy that dies in the prime of his career, you can retire his number. But Paul O'Neill, love Paul O'Neill. Love him. Jorge Posada, these guys are never going to sniff the Hall of Fame. Andy Pettit, even Lightning, Ryan Guidry. I don't like it. In the NBA playoffs, the snake is alive. You know what the snake is, don't you? The snake is, it's a betting term for when a team, especially a home team, if you lose on opening night of the series, if you lose game one, always win game two. It always happens. It happens every time in the NBA, it seems like. You lose game one, you win game two. It's the snake. Especially if it's a home team. It happened with the Knicks. When they lost game one to Miami, no doubt come back, win game two. It happened last night. Celtics lost game one to the Sixers, came back and blew them out of the building last night. It was incredibly predictable. It's going to happen tonight in San Francisco. The Warriors are 6.5-point favorite over the Lakers. The Warriors are going to blow them out tonight. You watch. I'm calling my shot right here. The Warriors will blow them out. At the top of the one, Steve Merrill, Wager Talk TV, is back with thoughts on that and more. Okay, phone lines are open. 256-576-4977. Get you in. 256-576-4977. Got a note right before the show started. Am I lying? Did Brad Bohannon get blown out? Give me a nod over there. I think I'm getting a nod from Grizz. It's over there on the other side of the glass. 256-576-4977. Text the show anytime. 24/7 at 7329-TA show. Read them on the air. 732-982-7469. I got some in there regarding Moulton dodging that home run ball. It's a great way to communicate with us. Great job, too, by Grizz getting the video and the audio up on Twitter at the radio station's Twitter feed at 97.7. It's also at 97 or at Thom Abraham Show and at 97.7 ESPN. You can see the video, some of it. You can even see the video, the official video from the broadcast, the video broadcast of the game from the trash panels, but you really can't. I was hoping, I had actually talked to them before I left the stadium. I was talking to them. I was hoping they had a shot. You know how they follow a home run ball sometimes? You know, like the camera will follow the ball over the fence. I was hoping they had that shot so that we would see the Moulton side shuffle. I want to see the Moulton side shuffle up close and personal. I want to see Moulton going over the bags. You know what I mean? I mean, it was like Moulton going through the tires in spring practice. I want to see that Moulton side shuffle. I want to see Moulton the next game. He comes out there. I want to see him wearing that helmet that he wears on his Twitter thing. You know, he has that helmet on. If he had that helmet on, maybe he would step in front of that ball that made the play. You can watch the show on Facebook and Twitter at 97.7 ESPN. Watch us on Twitch and YouTube, WZZN TV. Get our apps. Get links to everything. Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4. Get all our stuff. So you can get all our alternate streaming channels and get more great programming. It won't be long now, a couple of weeks. Huntsville City Football Soccer Club will come home and start playing games at Joe Davis Stadium, and we will have those games for you on Zone 4 with Steve Moulton and Scott Tyson, and I think Grizz will be involved in some way, shape, or form. We'll see. But you got to have all of these. You got to have all of our channels. So you got to have our apps, the Zone app and the Blitz app. All right, over there in a little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the platters that matter and the stacks of wax. Keeping us on the air. What's he playing today? Western music for sure. I'm just looking at his notes because it is Throwback Thursday. It's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom, Hey, Thom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Chris, so this, well, first of all, what are you talking about now? Western music? What is Western music?
I was just going to do like Western TV shows or something like that.
Oh,
like,
Westerns.
Yeah, Westerns.
Oh, I see what you mean. Westerns.
Yeah, I didn't have like other thing else other than on the flash drive.
Okay,
other
but
than
Westerns
that, so
is fine.
It was kind of like, I kind of forgot what today was too. After
It's
yesterday,
Thursday.
after yesterday, almost, I saw my live flash between my eyes when the ball whizzed past me.
Baseball. Just a baseball. It's just, you played baseball. I can give Molden a pass because, I don't know what he did, but you played baseball. You can't tell me you were I was reaching for the ball. I was reaching for the ball over there. I was tethered. If I wasn't tethered to the headset and in my chair, I'd have made. I have that range. I could have got. Let me tell you something.
Range? If you had your glove,
I got that. Was 5 feet? I got 5 feet of range. Yeah.
I think if I had a glove, I may have been able to make a play. But
you got to get out of the chair. That's the problem.
But I got out of that. I got out of that bar stool, and yeah, there was no room for me to get it. And like if I was standing where Steve was standing, oh yeah, right in the chest. Happy Gilmore, like
you got to kind of like knock it down like a shortstop on a hot smash, right? You don't take it. If you take it in the chest, it might hit that spot, and you might end up with the DeMar Hamlin thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to have that happen.
Down.
You don't want to go down, but more towards the gut. You know what I mean? Let it hit you more from the diaphragm down. And let's face it. With Steve, it ain't gonna hurt him. Hit him in the gut. You just kind of. But the number one option, there's 3 options. There's 3 things you can do. He had a hat on. You take the hat off, and you just snag it with the hat. Right? I mean, there's the ball. It's right there.
I could have done the same thing. Yeah,
you take.
I did have a headset on.
Yeah, but you were on the air. You were tied down to the machine. I had a hat on too, but I was over here. I mean, I can't move. So you take the hat off and you snag it with the hat. Option number 2: spread your fingers wide. You reach up for the ball. You catch the ball, and you move your hand back. You know what I mean? You go like this with your hand backwards. For those of you who are watching on TV, you move your hand backwards to take the momentum off of the ball.
Right.
It's going to sting.
Science.
But the crowd is going to ooh and ah to anybody who was left.
Oh, yeah.
And you are going to live on forever as a viral stud. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Option number 3 is you assume the Martin Brodeur position of goaltending, a little butterfly situation. You put them arms out like this to the side over here, like Max Malasic, and you knock it down in front of you, and then you just pick it up off the ground. And you're like, yeah, I got that ball. I knocked that ball down.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
He selected option number 4. He dove in a bunker.
Olay.
He dove in a foxhole. It was like a hand grenade to him. It was like a scud coming in.
I've never seen him walk that fast or just like move that quick. Move that quick. No, he does. No, he does do a great job, but he does it at his own pace. And when a baseball's coming at him, he was gone. He was gone.
No.
It was like in a horror movie where you turn around and they're gone, or just someone's just like, well, I need help, and then you turn around and then everyone else is gone.
So in the wake of the Alabama betting story, baseball story where the Alabama LSU series was taken off the board by Ohio sports books and then ultimately by DraftKings nationally and then some other sports books, after suspicions were raised surrounding Alabama baseball games, Brad Bohannon has been fired. Not for a lack of performance. Brad's been on the show many times. He's a good guy. Not for a lack of performance of the team, because they played well at times this year. They not so great at other times this year. But he has been fired, according to AL.com and Mike Rodak. Alabama Director of Athletics Greg Byrne announced that he has initiated the termination process of a head coach, Brad Bohannon, for, among other things, violating the standards, duties, and responsibilities expected of university employees. The university said in a statement this morning, Bohannon has been relieved of all duties, and Jason Jackson will serve as the interim head coach. There'll be no further comment at this time, pending the ongoing review. The betting probe comes weeks after Bohannon and Jackson were sued by a former player along with UA's athletic trainer Sean Stryker due to alleged mistreatment after an injury. Now, that's a different thing, right? Bohannon is under contract through 2025, 2-year extension. New deal paid him $475 in 2022, $25,000. Okay. Of course, Alabama's hosting Vandy beginning tonight, 3-game set at Sewell Thomas. Story says it's not yet clear if Bohannon or any Alabama players had any connection to the suspicious wagering activity that was detected. ESPN first reported Monday evening that the Ohio Casino Control Commission has suspended betting on Alabama baseball games in the state's legal books after the U.S. integrity, blah, blah, blah. And we told you that part of the story. This is a bad, bad look. But they're not necessarily tying it directly to the gambling probe. But, I mean, come on. There's a gambling probe and the coach gets fired. I mean, that's pretty direct. You got the gambling probe, then you got the coach getting fired. Moulton just sent it to me. I just read the release.
Come on, Steve.
I'll catch your foul ball or something, will you? It's coming right at you, for God's sakes. It's coming.
Oh, it's coming right at us.
Right at us. All right, let's get a break. Come back, short segment. Doing baseball at the bottom of the hour. You want to jump in, you can. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions? Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on IOPServicesLLC.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop, too. Don't forget our parts department. So, if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Well, it's good that we're talking. It's good that we are talking to Steve Merrill later on from Pro Sports Info, because he'll probably have a take on this story as it is unfolding out of there. Just to give you the rest of the background in Rodak's story. U.S. Integrity, which monitors gambling data to detect abnormalities and misuses of insider information, sent a warning to all its clients after Friday's game. Okay, Friday's game between Alabama and LSU. Ronnie Johns, who is the chairman of the Louisiana Gaming Control Board, told NOLA.com that one of the bets was a parlay involving the Alabama-LSU game, and another was a large straight-up bet on the game. Both were on LSU to win. Well, okay, LSU is number one team in the country, so I guess betting on them to win wouldn't be an issue. The question is, who was there insider information going on there? The bets in question were placed Friday at the BetMGM Sportsbook at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. ESPN reported the Cincinnati Reds were on a road trip in Oakland. The Southeastern Conference had contracted U.S. Integrity since 2018 to monitor all conference events, including baseball games. SEC confirmed to AL.com on Thursday. Alabama sophomore pitcher Luke Holman was scheduled to start on Friday. But according to UA's game recap, reliever Hagan Banks was told an hour before first pitch that he would be starting in Holman's place. Holman was scratched after experiencing back tightness before the game, according to the Advocate in Baton Rouge. Alabama lost 8-6. They were down 8-1 and battled back to lose 8-6. NCAA rules prohibit participation in sports wagering activities from providing information to individuals involved in or associated with any type of sports wagering activity. According to, okay, so now I'm starting to get a little bit more of a picture of this. The NCAA takes sports wagering very seriously and is committed to the protection of student athletes' well-being and integrity of the sport. We are aware of this issue, activity gathering information. Alabama said Tuesday they had become aware of this situation Monday evening and is actively seeking information about the report. The SEC said we are aware of the reports related to the suspension of wagering on Alabama baseball, according to Greg Sankey. We will continue to monitor available information on any regulatory activity. As many states have acted to legalize sports gambling, we are reminded of the threats gambling may pose to competitive integrity. Together with our member universities, we will continue to emphasize the importance of regulating, overseeing, and providing education related to sports gambling activity. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about that. He's correct about that, but it's better. If you think that this is because of legalized sports gambling, you're sadly mistaken. This has been going on with illegal sports gambling. Now, the fact that it is legal allows light to be shed on this and for these things to come to pass if they find out that something is going on that's a little bit goofy. If you think that, before, now that there's legalized sports gambling, we're getting these kind of issues. No. These issues were happening before. They were just happening in the dark corners of sports gambling. All right, Grizz, this is the scenario that I think I'm reading between the lines now. Now I'm going to read between the lines a little bit here. I think what they're telling us here, without specifically saying it, is somebody, it's not that the kid was scratched because he had back issues or whatever for any nefarious reason, Luke Holman. He was scratched about an hour before the game. Somebody, where this investigation is going is that somebody tipped off somebody in Ohio, hey, our starting pitcher got scratched. You might want to bet on LSU. We're starting a reliever. Somebody gave inside information. Now, I don't know, when that happened.
That's serious.
That's what I'm saying. See, I don't know what happened. All of us, I don't know when a player gets scratched. Is it automatically, does the general public know that? Probably not. So what happens is this would be like, for example, when my son called me from the locker room or texted me from the locker room in 2007, an hour before the Alabama-Tennessee game, and he texted me and said, hey, Glenn Coffey and 4 other starters, including 3 offensive linemen, are suspended for the game because of a problem with. If I would have then placed a bet, you see what I'm saying?
Huge, yeah. Would have been terrible.
Now, I would have lost the bet because if I'd have placed the bet on Tennessee, Alabama beat them like a rented mule in that game. Right. But what the point is that, so you get, somebody has this information, and they use that information, they tip off somebody for the purposes of gambling. So it's starting to look like that's what happened. In that hour or so, somebody tipped off somebody, and the assumption is it came out of the Alabama locker room. Brad Bohannon's getting fired over this. I don't know that it would be him, but somebody tipped off somebody who placed a bet at Great American Park in Cincinnati. Hey, our starting pitcher's down tonight. Might want to jump on LSU. I think that's where this is all headed, to try and I have no information beyond what I just read to you. Yeah, that's just me reading between the lines.
It's kind of crazy when Ohio first halted the betting, then Pennsylvania, or New Jersey, and now Pennsylvania is the third state that's halted betting on it. And you've got Louisiana Gaming Board over here talking about there was a huge bet on one of the games. That's serious.
Other than that game?
Yeah. It's huge.
A different game?
It's serious.
Or that or the Friday night game.
That I think it was that Friday night game.
Yeah, somebody leaked the information that they don't have.
Bet. Yeah.
Right. Somebody leaked that out, and that's, I think, where that ended up happening. All right, we're going to break. When we come back, we'll talk some country hardball with Josh Carey next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental also specializes in day and weekend rentals to homeowners? The weekend rentals is by far the best deal that they offer. If you pick up after 2 on a Friday or anytime Saturday morning, it's not due in until Monday morning before 8 a.m. for a one-day charge. For a small fee, Valley can even haul anything they carry. Valley has extremely experienced and knowledgeable staff that can help you decide what size machine you need or what type of machine you need to get your job done like a pro. They have all the big items that the contractors need for their jobs, but they also carry the small tools that can help you with your DIY project. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and ask for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I'm Olympic gold medalist Rowdy Gaines, and I'm recommending you register for the 40th Annual Alabama State Games, happening June 9th through June 11th in Birmingham. Athletes of all ages and abilities will participate in any of the 25 team or individual sports. Registered athletes have the opportunity to win up to $4,000 in academic scholarships to add to the over $335,000 already awarded. Registered at alagames.com. That's ALAGAMES.com.
T-minus 3, 2, 1, blast.
Trash Panda Nation, ignite the fun, let's rock it.
Come see your Rocket City Trash Pandas take on the Tennessee Smokies Thursday for Star Wars Night at Toyota Field. Come dress as your favorite Star Wars character and be one of the first 1,500 fans through the gates to receive a free Panda Wars commemorative cup. Get your tickets now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. You're listening to 97.7 ESPN The Zone, your home of ESPN Radio, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Atlanta Braves baseball, Huntsville Havoc hockey, and the UAH Chargers.
We're talking baseball. Klazuski, Campanella talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque.
Now, welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. Segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. For all your mortgage needs, it's North Alabama Mortgage in Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida is where you will find North Alabama Mortgage, and they'll do a tremendous job for you. And those rates have stabilized, so they'll make sure to get you into the best product possible. Get yourself pre-approved before you even go out and look at properties. A lot of places, they don't even let you look at them anymore unless you're already pre-approved. It's that competitive out there. And get a home valuation done. Have them do a home valuation for you on your property as well. You can get that done with North Alabama Mortgage, and we always thank Brian Hamaker for his tremendous support of so many different things in the community. All right, so yesterday I played my reaction because the ball was basically hit to me. First of all, I called for it. with Bo Morgan on from Atlanta. I said, we're looking for a home run ball to be hit right to us here in the inline electric rock porch. And this is what it sounded like. This is what the professional broadcaster sounded like. This is what Josh Carey sounded like calling that home run.
You never know if a guy is going to bluff too far. As the pitch is ripped into deep right. Back on it goes Casey. At the track, he looks up. That one's out of here. A 3-run homer for Kyron Paris.
Yeah. See, he was very controlled. I think it's the 6th of the season. Leads the league. Now, he's behind the play. Now, this is what it sounded like coming to me.
Oh, it's coming right at us. What are you running away from the ball for? He's a 3-run homer right into us, and my program director ran away from the ball. You could have caught that ball. Why did you run away from the ball? Oh, my God, I can't believe he ran away. I got to rip his man card. Oh, my goodness gracious. We're literally 2 people down from me. 2 people down from me is my program director, Bo, and the ball came right at him, and he ran out of the way of the ball. I can't believe it. We had a home run hit right to us while we were on the air with you.
So that's what it sounded like.
The guy behind you, I swear. We can talk about that later, but the guy behind you, that dude
was losing his mind because he couldn't believe I called it.
That dude was a character, though. He was saying stuff behind
he was hammered.
your back. Like, he was, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was hammered.
Yeah.
All right. So the professional in those 2 calls is Josh Carey, and he joins us down the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline for a little Carey's Corner. Josh, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, man. I wish we could have gotten you a win yesterday, but it sounds like you had fun anyway.
Well, I forgot to call for the win. See, 2 weeks ago when I went there, I called for some sort of technical difficulty so I could just sit and watch the game, and the power went out 20 minutes later.
Right.
So this game, I'm sitting on the fence, and I called for a home run to be hit to me while I was doing this interview, and a home run was hit to me. What I forgot to say was the Trash Pandas need to win the game because they lost. But it was good.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that was a 3-run homer by Kyron that made it a 1-run ball game. I think who came up before him? I guess it was Aaron Whitefield. If he finds a way to reach, suddenly it's a grand slam, and it would have been even a little more crazy. But did y'all come up with the baseball? Did Chad?
No.
Did Moulton chase it down?
No, he couldn't even do that. What happened was there was a little kid that was behind him, maybe 9 or 10-year-old kid that was a little bit behind Moulton, and he said while the ball was in the air, I mean, it was like, we had like a half an hour to talk about this. While the ball is in the air, the little kid says, "Are you going to catch it, mister?" And then Moulton does his Olay move, like it's a Scud missile coming in, and jumps out of the way of the ball, and it hits the pavement or hits the patio floor, bounces up in the air, and the little kid gets the ball. So think if Moulton catches the ball, I go down in the locker, I get Kyron Paris to sign the ball. We put the ball on the mantle at the radio station about this unbelievable viral moment where we caught a home run ball during a broadcast, okay? And Paris ends up in the big leagues and doing a great job at playing, and we have that ball that he had out of it. But no, my program director ran from the ball. It was a hand grenade.
Honestly, I would have done the same thing because that thing was smoked.
It was smoked.
I had a foul ball. I think I had a foul ball from Neto come up to me when we were in Birmingham, and I didn't want any part of it. And this was a foul pitch. I mean, it wasn't hit terribly hard. But yeah, I get it, man. I would have been diving out of the way as well. No. You either take he had a Braves hat on. You take the hat off and you try to snag it in the hat, or you stick your bare hand out there like Logan O'Hoppe did at Yankee Stadium. You stick your bare hand out there and you try to catch it going back and spread your fingers so you don't break a finger, and you do your hand go back, or you assume a goalie position and you just knock it down. You know what I mean? And then pick it up off the ground. The thing you don't do is run out of the way. I'm just telling you, Josh. I'm just saying. I'll hand in my man card next time I see you. I have no problem. I have no problem ducking for cover.
Let me tell you something.
When it hit that hard, because that thing was on a line too. That didn't have any air on it to take some of the weight off. It was coming on a line.
One of the home runs that one of their guys hit, I think it was the first one maybe, that went to right center field. That thing went over the black fence that's behind the fence. There's a fence, and then, of course, the wind was blowing out. I mean, it was ridiculous how hard that wind was blowing out. You couldn't feel it. We could because it was hitting us right in the face the whole day. It was like 15, 20-mile-an-hour wind. But that thing carried the fence, one-hopped the black fence behind it. That was a shot, too. I mean, you got to give the Smokies a little credit. They've come out the first 2 games with their hitting shoes on.
Yeah, they're a really good team. I mean, they've got some studs on there who you're going to see play at Wrigley one day. That Pete Crow Armstrong, their leadoff hitter, he's probably as good as there is in minor league baseball right now. He'll be playing at major league levels very soon. Owen Casey, that may have been the guy who hit the home run you were talking about. They got him from the Padres for Yu Darvish. Crow Armstrong, he came from the Mets for Javi Baez. So these were guys that the Cubs picked up they gave up some pretty good ball players for. So this is all of that. When they sold off a lot of their star talent, the Cubs, I guess it was 2 years ago, this was the return, and that return on investment is starting to make its way through the system. So these guys are going to be pretty good this year.
The kid that you have playing second, Jeremiah Jackson, who was a second-round draft pick in 2018 by the Angels. I don't know about the bat. I know that he's not doing much yet here, and I think he's about a 250 hitter in his minor league career so far. What a nice glove, though. I mean, that kid can pick it. He is very, very smooth. I was extremely impressed by his play defensively.
Yeah, you're right. He's got to pick it up offensively, but he's got as quick of a bat as anyone in Double-A right now. I think the big thing for Jeremiah is, last year was his first year at Double-A, so he had to get used to a lot of things.
This year, remember, he's been used all over the place. He was the guy who dropped the fly ball in that 7-5 game, the no-hitter. Yeah. But the point is this. He plays everywhere. He plays center. He plays left. He can play second, short, third. And on top of all this, the thing with the bat, his girlfriend just gave birth to their first child, I think, 2 weeks ago. So you got a 23-year-old kid who's becoming an adult and having to deal with all that as well. So I guess long and the short of it, he's one of those guys who really just needs to settle down and be able to play consistent baseball. And I think now that his personal life is in order and he's able to go to the ballpark every day, knows what he has to do, both as a father and now as a ball player, that's going to help him out a lot. But he's been a tremendous asset defensively, like you said, and he has the potential to be a good offensive player. It's just a matter of all that coming around.
It's Star Wars night out there at the ballpark tonight. May the 4th be with you. It is May the 4th, which is to be followed by Cinco de Mayo, which is to be followed by Seis de Mayo, I guess, or whatever it is. But in any event, yeah, Kentucky Derby Day. There you go. So you got Kentucky Derby Day going on. Are they doing anything special for Kentucky Derby Day? They got like dressing up the mascots in a horse costume and have them race around the thing as horses. There's my idea for Kentucky Derby Day out at the Toyota Field. Dress them up like horses instead of astronauts and let them run around.
No, well, we may do that, but the big thing is we'll have some Kentucky Derby style drinks available for adults. We'll have like a mint julep or something like that folks can partake in, and we may put it on the video board. I'm not sure, the Kentucky Derby, but the biggest thing is we'll be serving up the alcoholic beverages on Saturday, and of course it'll be fireworks night, so it should be a lot of fun. Our weekends are always the best time to come to Toyota Field, and this Saturday should be no different.
Are they wearing any special uniforms tonight? And I know that the people, I think when they get in, I'm not sure what it is, if they wear Star Wars-themed gear. Like tonight, I think Grizz is going to be out there dressed as R2-D2 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But if they show up in Star Wars gear, there's something special going on with that. And but is the team wearing any special themed jersey tonight? I know they do that throughout the year.
Yeah, they're going to do a Yoda-themed jersey, and I've seen it. It's actually pretty cool. They've got actual Yoda on the jersey. So that'll be, and it's going to be really neat. The jerseys are going to be auctioned off during the game. In fact, that's going to get started at 4 o'clock. It's going to run until 7 p.m. And you got to text, if you want to place a bid on those jerseys, you can always, and I'll go ahead and try to find the press release here, but you can text your bid to a number for the Trash Pandas, and it will tell you whether or not you've won. And of course, the final total for that won't be brought up until the end of the ball game. But yeah, there's a chance to auction. There'll be an auction for those jerseys. There'll also be a raffle for those in attendance for a team signed jersey of that of the Yoda jersey that they're going to be wearing. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to wear those, to win those things, and to take one home yourself.
Yeah, I'm looking at the jersey. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool looking jersey. All right, to the big club. Shohei Ohtani last night, 13 strikeouts. That gets him to 500, which puts him on a list of two. Him and Babe Ruth. 500 strikeouts, 100 home runs. And, he's done it here in the first 6 years or so of his career. And, it makes you wonder. I mean, God, he's a Hall of Famer now, isn't he? Right? I mean, you look at Shohei Ohtani. I noticed the 10-year rule. Right? You got to have played 10 years and been retired 5 years to be even considered for the Hall of Fame. God forbid something were to happen to him that cut his career short. He didn't make it to 10 years. I don't know how you don't put a guy like that in the Hall of Fame. It seems like he's a Hall of Famer now.
Hey, he's on track. I'm not going to put him in the Hall of Fame just yet, just because I do believe consistency is key. And if he finishes with where he is right now, boy, you got to look at a bunch of other players who haven't had the opportunity to enter Cooperstown either. So I'm unlike you. I'm not ready to put him in just yet, but he's certainly well on his way to doing just so. So he's doing some really remarkable things. I mean, 134 career homers. You really think that's Cooperstown worthy with 500 strikeouts?
Well, with 500 strikeouts, yeah. But I mean, over a period of, and an MVP over a period of 6 years. I guess they don't have an allowance for something like that. And I'll be honest, to your point,
Don Mattingly was a Hall of Famer after 5 or 6 years of his career, and it just tailed off. And he had the back. He kept fighting through the back. But, 7, 8 years in, Don Mattingly was ticketed for the Hall of Fame. There was no doubt about it. But now he doesn't get a sniff. I don't know if the old-timers will ever put him in, or whatever they call him now, the Veterans Committee will put him in. I don't think so. But it's amazing how similar his numbers are to Kirby Puckett's. And Kirby Puckett had the eye injury, and his career ended, and they put him in because his career ended prematurely. I don't know, Mattingly, if he'd have just stopped playing, I don't know if they would have been viewed differently. His last 4 or 5 years were, terrible, mostly because his back was so bad he just couldn't play.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, there's a couple things that can make it a little different as well. Shohei played in that Japanese league, the Nippon League, I think is what they call it. Yeah. And was able to work out the rookie kinks there. For guys like Mattingly and Kirby Puckett, they came up through the minors and they did the old school way, and they were rooks, and they struggled and they fought and they learned and they excelled. And I don't want to take away anything from Shohei Ohtani, but I think a lot more credence is given to guys who have spent their entire careers here in the States and have clawed their way from the minors into the majors. Whereas you have a guy who already had some expertise from the Japanese leagues making his way over to the States and really just continuing what he did overseas.
Yeah, Josh Carey with us here. Speaking of Hall of Fame, I do believe that Andrew Jones is a Hall of Famer when you look at his numbers. We've talked about this in the past. I think he may get there at some point. The Braves are going to retire his number 25 this summer. He'll be only the second Brave to have his number retired. He'll be the 11th, but he'll be only the second that is not in the Hall of Fame. Of course, the other one is Dale Murphy, and a wildly popular Dale Murphy, and a lot of people think he should be in the Hall, but really never rose to that, never really got even close, which was maybe a little bit surprising. Having said that, and having been being a Yankee fan, which the Yankees have like 9 guys with retired numbers that aren't in the Hall of Fame, I think that you should be a Hall of Famer before they retire your number. I don't know if I'm a fan of, if you're going to retire a dude's number forever and ever, I think he has to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, would you retire Andrew Jones's number right now?
I wouldn't mind it. I think it's a little stunning, though, that here's where I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. So go back to Dale Murphy for just a moment. You look back at his career, he was on a lot of bad teams, and he still put up some tremendous numbers. For Andrew, he was one of those guys, he was one of those once-in-a-while talents that helped put the Braves on the map. Now, the Braves didn't need any help because they had a ton of other great players. He got to play on some much better teams than Dale Murphy did. But he was such a unique talent, and he was so devoted to the organization for over a decade, and he's so popular among fans. It's really a mix of loyalty plus marketability plus what he accomplished on the field. And when you combine all those 3 elements together, I think they just look at it and say, hey, let's give this guy the nod nonetheless, because he did everything for us that we asked him to do. He just then won us a world title, and outside of that, he had a remarkable career. So, I mean, if you're going to do it for Murph, can you do it for Andrew as well? I think he can.
Yeah, well, they will for sure. All right, finally, they're going to run your brother out of St. Louis. I don't know what the heck's going on over there. He, of course, the new TV voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, following in a family tradition over there. But goodness gracious almighty, they're the worst team in the National League. I mean, they got to blame it on somebody. They're, you know what I mean? They're liable to blame it on Chip Carey and say, look, he came over here and we're 10-21 for God's sakes. We're playing .323 baseball. I'm stunned at how bad the Cardinals are right now.
Yeah, and they're losing right now to the Angels 4-2. It's in the second inning.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that went through a bit of a facelift last year, right? Or from last year to this year, right? Pujols leaves, Benji Molina leaves, both retire, and there's nothing. You're saying to yourself, well, Pujols was at the end of his career, Molina at the end of his. Why are we missing? It's because those two were leaders for the Cardinals. And you got Adam Wainwright as well, who's getting older now. But you have those guys who were the glue to your clubhouse. If I can relate this to the Trash Pandas a little bit, Rocket City's not playing great right now. They're not bad, but they're not playing great. Last year you had guys like Trey Capich and Preston Palmero and guys like that who glued the locker room together and kept everyone unified even when they were going through a rough patch. St. Louis doesn't really have that right now, and that's something Molina and Pujols really provided last year when they were together. I think they're still going to be all right. I think they'll turn this around at some point, but they just don't have those glue guys who maybe don't do as much on the field. It's what they do behind the scenes that really matters, and that's what they're missing right now. They're going through a real rough patch, and they don't know how to navigate it, and they got to turn it around soon before the season gets away from them.
Always a pleasure. Josh Carey has been our guest. Josh, if you ever need somebody in the booth with you that had great amount of excitement for a home run call.
Oh, it's coming right at us. What are you running away from the ball for? He's a 3-run homer.
There you go. Okay. You can have. I don't think I'd last 144 though. Am I yelling like that?
Very Harry Carey-esque. It was nice.
There you go. No, that's a great compliment. I appreciate that. All right, man. We'll talk next week.
All right. Have a good one, Tom.
Josh Carey, grandson of Harry Carey. All right. What do you want me to do? I got this kind of a funky time here. I either have no time, so you can. This is the end of the segment. It's just the end of the hour. I can't go all the way to the end of the hour. I still got more commercials that have to be played. I mean, I'll put him on for 2 minutes. See what he's got. Wolverine Dan, what's going on?
Do the commercials. I'll get off the air.
What do you mean, do the commercials? Yeah. All right, come back when I can give you a room. All right.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Make this the summer you finally get your own backyard pool from Superior Pool Construction. Family owned and operated, our team can have you swimming and splashing in no time. And now is the time to choose your custom fiberglass pool. Superior Pool Construction has a few spots still open for quick installation this summer. 80 different pools to choose from and 12 in beautiful Diamond Tech colors. All come with a 50-year manufacturer's structural warranty. Call Superior Pool Construction now. 256-284-5953. 284-5953.
From the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Atlanta Braves, we are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It is Star Wars Day. I don't know if I'm at the end of the hour or at the beginning of the next hour. I'm not even sure what I'm doing now. You lost me there. I thought we were done with that hour. We'd be coming back in a few minutes. I guess we'll be coming back in a few minutes with Steve. Yeah, see, I heard this thing already, didn't I? I thought I heard that little ditty right there.
No, you didn't at all. No.
I did too, you liar.
No, I swear. This time you did not.
What did I hear?
I did it a long time ago.
I heard something at the end of the segment.
It was a closeout, probably.
What? No, yeah. When Wolverine Dan was on, we heard the closeout music.
No, I had it off. I promise you. It was. I heard something. Yeah, I tried.
Right,
anyway.
So Dan, come back in after we're done with Steve Merrill, and then we got some room for you. You know what I mean? You can pontificate. We can have a good conversation. But Steve Merrill is coming up next. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Chiefs have found a new left tackle for quarterback Patrick Mahomes. They've signed veteran Donovan Smith, formerly of the Buccaneers, to a one-year contract. Deal's worth up to $9 million. The Chiefs lost both starting tackles from last season, Orlando Brown and Andrew Wiley, in free agency. Earlier in free agency, KC did sign Juwan Taylor from Jacksonville to be one of its starters. Ravens today will hold a news conference with quarterback Lamar Jackson. He'll speak with the media for the first time since agreeing to a 5-year, $260 million contract. Michigan big man Hunter Dickinson, one of the most dominant centers in the country the last 3 years, announced that he'll transfer to Kansas for this upcoming college basketball season. NBA West semifinals, Lakers up 1-0. Visit the Warriors Game 2 tonight, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio, 9 Eastern on ESPN TV.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on at advancedlifeclinic.com.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship Jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Oh, Philip has hit the text window. He's a big fan of the Bonanza music.
Space Cowboys.
Are you going to play our new close at the end of the hour today? Are you going to play? What was it? What was it? Remember when we were walking out of the ballpark? Oh, did you forget? Oh, I know what it is. I can't remember what it is, but it'll come to me.
All right.
It's not closing time. It's
yeah. It was
Happy Trails, maybe
something like that. Yeah.
It's like Happy Trails, it's Happy Trails. That's exactly what it is. It's Happy Trails. And Grumpy says that Moulton needs to wear a Dodger hat at the next remote. Oh God! And I'm getting plenty of texts about not taking Wolverine Dan's call because we ran out of time. They want to hear what he has to say. All right, so hopefully he'll jump back in here in a little bit. We'll see. All right, joining us now, a guy that does a tremendous job at Wager Talk TV and at Pro Sports Info. He is Steve Merrill, and he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and also online with us on WZZN TV as well. Steve, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, guys. Doing well.
Steve, we're dealing with a situation down here that you may or may not be aware of. I would think that you are. Alabama baseball coach Brad Bohannon has been fired amid the reports of this ESPN report that raised questions about suspicious wagering activity surrounding Alabama baseball games, which led Ohio, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania to halt all betting on the team's games, and apparently goes back to Friday night's game against LSU, the number one team in the country, when Alabama's starting pitcher was scratched about an hour before the game due to back tightness, and they ended up going with a bullpen game and starting a reliever in the game. And as best as I can piece together, reading between the lines of what's going on here, because they're talking about insider information and things like that, it almost sounds like somebody tipped off somebody placing very heavy bets in Ohio on LSU. Somebody from the Alabama locker room might have tipped off a bettor that the starting pitcher had been scratched, and they were going with the bullpen. But this is a serious thing. And this is why these things have to be investigated.
Yeah, it's actually a great timing that we're doing the show today on Thursday because I was guest hosting Wager Talk today on Wager Talk TV, and the replay is on YouTube on Wager Talk TV, so go watch that later today. And Teddy Covers and I, we discussed this entire incident on the show today, and I told him I was going to be doing ESPN radio with Thom Abraham in the Tennessee Valley, Alabama area later today, and I couldn't wait to talk to you about this. So, yeah, we touched on it. The information came out this morning. Obviously, the coach got fired. First of all, there was, heavy money bet and heavy parlay and some other things. And first of all, college baseball has very low limits, very low action. I do not follow it. I don't mess with it, and most people don't. So when you see heavy money coming in, it does raise some suspicion and red flag. Doesn't mean anything nefarious was happening, but the more you discussed it there, it does sound to me like somebody knew something, and that was the whole intention of the bet. It's interesting. If you look at the line history, you can go to the Wager Talk live odds screen at wagertalk.com and go back to Friday. It's what I'm doing right now. I just like to look at the line movement in the game. That morning I see minus 225. LSU closed minus 245. So overall, it wasn't a huge amount of action on that line. The over-under held pretty steady at 12.5 in the game. It landed 14, of course. Some of those books just saw heavy bets coming and took it down out of caution. And I really think we probably wouldn't have read any more into it. But now with the coach being fired at Alabama, it obviously seems like there's something there. I think it would be a shame, though, if the information leaked and maybe somebody he knew placed a bet if he didn't tell them to place the bet. Because, once again, it's not illegal like it is in the financial markets to have insider information. That's the one thing about the stock markets. I've never quite understood the insider information thing. If everybody can act on their information instantly, we get price discovery a lot faster and a lot more accurate. I've always thought the insider trading stuff makes no sense. And first of all, as you know, Tom, Congress has done it for decades. Basically, what they do is insider trading. They have information. They're allowed to trade on it, and it's not illegal. But in the sports world, you can do it. We'll have to see how this plays out. But obviously, the Alabama coach being fired does not bode well for what happened here, probably.
Well, you may be able to do it in the sports world, but I think the standard that is set by the leagues and by the NCAA hiring this U.S. Integrity, according to the story, U.S. Integrity, which monitors gambling data to detect abnormalities and misuse of insider information, sent a warning to their clients on Friday's game. Ronnie Johnson, chairman of the Louisiana Gaming Board, told NOLA that one of the bets was a parlay involving Alabama LSU. Another was a large straight-up bet on the game, both wagers on LSU. So it may not be, quote-unquote, illegal, but I think it's against their monitoring rules, and I don't think you are allowed to give information to an outsider. If it was a kid, I don't think it's the coach. I think the coach is getting caught up in a wash. Plus, there's another issue that the coach is involved in with some alleged mistreatment by an athlete in terms of an injury. But if a kid were to call his buddy in Ohio 20 minutes before the game and say, hey, our starting pitcher isn't going tonight, you might want to jump on LSU, I don't think you can do that. I mean, it's not illegal, but I think that it is a violation of these rules that have been set in place.
Correct. The NCAA is a whole different thing. Once again, it's not criminal. It's an organizational rule. You can't give out information. Maybe it's in the statute in some states that it's Privacy Act thing. So maybe it's criminal. I might have misspoke there, but I know with the NCAA and with the colleges, it's not like the NFL and the NBA where they release the injury reports. There's some student privacy stuff, so maybe there is some statute on that. So yeah, there's an injury to a pitcher. Coaches probably aren't allowed to necessarily say that for the students' well-being. But once again, if you look at the overall betting markets, if I look at Nevada and some of the other sports books, there was very little movement on this game. LSU was over a 2-1 favorite regardless, I believe. And it's not like, just because a starting pitcher doesn't go and you have a bullpen game that the fix is in. As you know, a lot of things can happen. And that's another reason I don't mess with college baseball. That's the main reason I don't, is because it's very difficult to know who's pitching. It's very difficult to know the quality of the backups and the bullpens. And that's why it's not a heavily bet sport. So, yeah, somebody knew something, or at least thought they knew something. And just because the bet won doesn't mean the fix was in. LSU was most likely going to win that game anyway. They were over a 70% favorite regardless.
Number one team in the country. Yeah, so,
exactly.
There's that. Greg Sankey, who I have great respect for, he did say in his comments, as many states have acted to legalize sports gambling, we are reminded of the threats gambling may pose to competitive integrity. On that note, there's a lot of people that are jumping on, but see, I knew this would happen as soon as they legalize sports betting. I'm like, wait a minute. This is actually a good thing, right? Because this is shining a light on it. Because if you don't think this kind of stuff was going on when it was illegal, and I used an example, I didn't do anything with the information because I was, working in the media. But in 2007, before Alabama played Tennessee, my son was an assistant coach on the Crimson Tide, a student assistant. And he texted me an hour before the game and told me that Glenn Coffey and 4 offensive linemen, or 3 starting offensive linemen, a total of 5 starters for Alabama, were suspended for the game. And we didn't get the information officially in the press box until kickoff. They handed us a note that said that the starting running back, 3 offensive linemen, blah, 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 had to do with them selling their scholarship books and so on and so forth. Anyway, that was information I got out of the locker room an hour before the game. If that kind of information got out to somebody who wanted to place an illegal bet on the game, you would have bet on Tennessee. Now, you would have lost badly because Alabama won that game by 30 points. But the fact of the matter is, that kind of information comes out of locker rooms, and before it was legalized sports betting, you wouldn't even know anything about it. At least now it shows that we're trying to do everything on the up and up.
And once again, let's break it back a step. We're not talking about game fixing here. We're just talking about information. Yeah. And how much would you have bet if the line hadn't moved? You knew Joel Embiid was out in game 1. That was like a last second thing. Well, it didn't matter. The Sixers won outright. We've seen it week after week in the NBA playoffs. We've seen it year after year now in the regular season that the shorthanded teams continue to win and cover like 70% of the time. So even having the information doesn't mean you're going to win or lose. But once again, just knowing there's some injuries or some suspensions, all you're doing is trying to get line value because you think the line should be 4 or 5 points different. So you think you're making an advantage play, or you're going to try to maybe do a buyback in middle of the game when the line moves in the rest of the market if you get in early. There's nothing nefarious here other than just shopping for line value and trying to find an edge in the financial betting markets. And once again, I think that's probably what happened here. There was no fix-in, and I think a lot of people, including the coach, are going to pay the price for something that probably isn't a big deal in my book. Once again, if information is widely available, everybody has it, that's fine. If someone doesn't, they take advantage, and the odds makers should move the lines. Here again, if this had been underground, like you said, offshore with the illegal sports books over the last 20 years, nobody would have known about it. Once again, as you and I have talked about for several years, including my home state, Virginia, they get it wrong when they don't allow betting on all the college teams. Like in Virginia here, you can bet on everybody but UVA, Virginia Tech, Richmond, for example. And it's like that in most states. New Jersey started that. But keep in mind, Nevada had that rule throughout the 1990s, and they switched it in the early 2000s when the Kyle bill was coming in because they didn't want to get all college betting banned. And they've had no problem with UNLV and Nevada Reno being on the board the last 20 years. Transparency and regulation is what keeps games from being fixed and corrupted. And here again, I think this is probably a lot to do about nothing. I think it was just a heavy bet based on information. But still, nothing wrong with being cautious, pulling the games down. That's what the sports books should do. But I don't think there's necessarily anything criminal here.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a big deal for Brad Bohannon. 46 years old. He's been on the show a number of times. A good guy that has turned around a really bad baseball program and made them competitive, not where they would hope to be by now, but he has done a decent job there. But when the headline is Alabama firing baseball coach Brad Bohannon amid betting probe, that's damning. I mean, this dude here, I don't know when and where he'll ever work again in sports. I mean, that's a very, very bad thing. Now, 3 paragraphs into the story, it has a line, the betting probe comes weeks after Bohannon and Jackson were sued by a former player, along with UA's athletic trainer, Sean Stryker, due to alleged mistreatment of an injury. So, wait a minute now. So what are you saying? Is it because of that? Or is it because of the betting thing? And how much of this stink comes to him that the university really kind of, he's just twisting in the wind right now because there's no detail out there. It's one thing if one of his players said something and they're hitting him with it because, the fact that, not controlling his own locker room or whatever. It's another thing if the information came from him. I mean, that's the thing that ends his career if it ends up like that. But, This is that typical thing. 90% of people won't read past the headline, and it looks like Brad Bohannon. If you look at the headline, it looks like Brad Bohannon was involved in fixing a baseball game.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know about that other stuff from a few weeks back because I said earlier this morning on Talk TV that if he had nothing to do with this, you would never fire him right now because 100% makes it look like he was involved in some kind of gambling scheme. So maybe maybe he was already on the hot seat. They're looking for a reason to get him out. They're just going to make a statement here and make an example. But, even if he wasn't really involved, the NCAA and these schools are so nervous about betting still. And let's keep in mind, the one that fought legalization more than the NFL, more than the NBA, because the day after it became legal, the NFL and the NBA got on board with it. They're huge hypocrites. But the NCAA is the biggest hypocrite of all because they still fight against it, even though they know damn well that the NCAA tournament wouldn't be popular without the bracket and the upsets and the betting. But they're still very scared and taboo, and that's why half these states, including my own in Virginia, do not allow betting on in-state schools, because once again, they're so afraid of corruption, even though the transparency is what keeps it from being corrupted.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Steve Merrill with us, Wager Talk TV. All right, the snake is alive in the NBA playoffs. I mean, there is no better example of it, especially if it's the home team losing game one. We saw the Knicks lose game one, come back, beat Miami in game two. We saw the Celtics lose game one, come back and destroy Philadelphia last night. It was extremely predictable. It's going to happen again tonight. I mean, Golden State's -6, 6.5. They're going to whack the Lakers tonight, man. This snake thing is real. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what else is real. You've got Foster and Tony Brothers being corrupt. And I'll say it right here. We can clip this and play it wherever you want. You know, the politicians get away with it all the time, and they never get called out on it. It's so obvious. I mean, when Foster and Brothers are the referees, it seems like calls go one way a lot more than the other. Tony Brothers, crew chief tonight, so we'll see what happens in this game. He favored the Lakers recently earlier in the playoffs against Memphis in that other game about a week ago, and when they clinched game 6. You would think the NBA is happy with either one of these teams, and I would think they'd be very happy with the 6 or 7 game series. So my gut instinct will be that Golden State at home will get the calls here in game 2. But like you said, even on top of that, 6-0 now. Game 2 home teams down 0-1 or 6-0 this year. Average win by double digits. Boston, easy winner last night, like you said, New York before that. So, once again, it looks like a good setup for Golden State. Wager Talk today, once again, the TV show earlier today on Wager Talk TV, we had a viewer question. Someone has a Lakers ticket at 22-1. Should he hedge? It's a great time to hedge if you got a big Lakers ticket because you can now get the Warriors at plus 140 on the adjusted series price. So, pretty big change from game 1 with the Lakers pulling that upset on the road.
I'm not jumping the officials, though, for the discrepancy in free throw attempts in game 1. You broke up a little bit there, so I don't know if everybody heard that. But, I mean, it was something where I think Golden State attempted 6 free throws in the game, and the Lakers had 20-something or whatever it was. 20, and it was a huge 25, a huge discrepancy. But here's the thing. The Warriors don't attack the rim. They don't play in the paint. They just jack up shots from outside like crazy. I mean, I think they outscored them by 40 points. From outside, and they lost the game. And some of that is the difference in the discrepancy in the 20 points, 22 points from the line. But the fact of the matter is, the nature of the Warriors game, they are the second least. They've taken the second least amount of foul shots, I think, or maybe the least amount of foul shots in the entire NBA. It's the nature of their game. And in the meantime, you've got the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron attacking the rim and everything else. They're going to the rack a lot, and that causes a lot of fouls. I think a lot of that has to do with their game style.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, look, the three-point shooting is a great variance in all of basketball. We talk about this in March, with March Madness, that if you could predict the three-point margins, you're going to do pretty well handicapping the tournament. And those are one-and-done scenarios. What is concerning, if you like Golden State, is they had a 21-6 edge from three-point range. They were 45 points net from three-point range, and they still lost the game by 5 at home. Normally, that would be a huge red flag for me, Tom, because I agree. I think the scoring down low is more consistent than three-point shooting. But Golden State might be that rare example where you can buck that trend, because the Warriors have always been a dominant three-point team. But, yeah, I mean, this Lakers team had a 50-point advantage from two-point range and the free throw line, which I think bodes well for them overall in the series. And that's, once again, if you have a Lakers futures ticket, maybe hedge a little bit here and get, the Warriors at plus money, lock up a profit for sure. But, yeah, the Lakers are definitely alive in this series. And nothing surprises me because Golden State's going to have to live and die by the three-point line.
By the way, we got a listener in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia. He wants to know what part of Virginia you're from. I told him you're from the West Virginia part of Virginia, aren't you? Aren't you up by West Virginia?
No, we're close. I'm about
you're
an
Richmond.
hour from Norfolk. I'm between Richmond and Norfolk on the East Coast as well. I'm in Williamsburg, originally from Northern Virginia.
Oh, Williamsburg?
So yeah.
Like historic Williamsburg?
Yes, yeah, the historical triangle.
Love it. It was awesome.
Jamestown and Williamsburg. Yeah, I'm right around history.
I love Williamsburg. I love Shenandoah Valley. My wife and I go there to a little horse farm, a little ranch in the Shenandoah Valley, and stay in a cabin and ride horses, and there's a lake there and everything else. And then I've been to historic Williamsburg as well, at the Patrick Henry Hotel there or something like that. But all right, so there's a
yeah. Well, we got to get you back to Williamsburg, my man. Meet in person.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get back over there. There's no doubt about it. All right, finally, speaking of futures, all right,
I can lay 7.5 with Alabama against Texas on September 9th. How much of these numbers? Let's see. I got to lay, if I like LSU in Orlando against Florida State, I got to lay 1.5. These early lines are out. How much fluctuation is there? Is there ever any value in these things real early on? I mean, I can get 10 with Florida at Utah. Florida beat Utah last year in Gainesville. I can get 10 points with Florida at Utah. I mean, should I be jumping on some of this early action? Tennessee minus 4.5 at Florida on September 16th. Tennessee's a 7.5-point favorite in Gainesville. My God, I want Florida with the points. What do you think?
Like with all futures, as I say, you have to have extra value because your money's being tied up, in this case for several months, right? As opposed to like the NBA playoff game tonight, you can roll it over 3 hours later, have it back in your bank, roll to bet again day after day. So you have to have a bigger edge than normal. So if you're playing one of these advanced point spreads, you really have to think that it's off by, maybe a touchdown to play it. In my opinion, that's why I don't mess with them much. These lines will be completely off. Come September, we will see 3, 4, 5 point differences in many of them, but yeah, the only reason you would attack these early is if you really have an opinion one way or the other on both teams. You think the line is off. I will point out that the Westgate released the NFL season win totals on Tuesday, as some other books have done. Once again, check out Wager Talk TV. We did that show on Tuesday's edition on Wager Talk today. Teddy Covers broke down all 30 real fast, quick hitter fashion, 32, whatever it is. What jumped out to me, Tom, is that only 4 teams are not above 9.5 wins. And I think only like one team is below 7.5. That's the Texans at 5.5. So basically every other team is in that 7 to 9 range. Just shows how much parity there is in the NFL. It really is
nuts. Yeah. I mean, I saw some of those. How come they don't put those up at Wager Talk? Are they under futures? You got to find them under the NFL futures or something?
Yeah, the Wager Talk live odds is great. I don't think the futures, they don't have a lot of the future stuff on there because they're not as static with the daily moves. But keep in mind, the schedule hasn't come out yet. It's going to be around May 11th, but they know who's playing who home and away. You just don't know the exact order. So we'll see a little bit of fluctuation maybe when we see how the bye weeks factor in. But those numbers are pretty solid right now. The Jets, 9.5 to the over. I thought that might be a little higher. That's going to get bet heavy, you think, to the over. Packers, 7.5 now without Rodgers.
I take the over on the Packers. I'm telling you, take the over on the Packers. I believe that they're going to be a little bit better. They'll be a little bit better than people think. They could win. They could be a 10-win team, 9-10 win team. You watch in a 17-game season. In fact, I would take 7.5 to the Packers. You give me 2. Right? That's the difference between the Jets and the Packers. I'll take the Packers +2 all day long against the Packers or against the Jets in terms of win total. You give me give me Green Bay
probably
plus 1.5.
Yeah, it's probably 2.5 because the Jets are 9.5 over like minus 140, and that's going to get probably bet up to 10. So I'd say it's 2.5.
I'd take 2 all day long and be happy to do it. All right, appreciate you as always, man. Great stuff.
Yeah, college baseball, NFL, everything, man. I loved it. And,
everything.
Once again, check out Wager Talk TV. Those shows are archived, and we talked about all these topics throughout the week. WagerTalk.com.
Good stuff, man. Steve Merrill's been our guest. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
Grizz, Florida +10 at Utah.
Oh, yeah, give it to me. Give it to me.
Florida +10. What do you want? You want Florida? You take Florida?
I'll take Florida, yeah.
Let's see, give you another one. September 3rd. LSU -1.5 at Florida State. The game is in Orlando.
Say that one more time. What was the
LSU is -1.5. The game is at Orlando against Florida State.
Give me LSU.
You get 1.5 with Florida State.
Yeah, give me LSU.
I take LSU there too. Texas gets 7 at Alabama. Is that enough?
Yeah.
September 9th.
Yeah, give me Texas.
Ooh, he's going to take the points against the Tide. Yeah. Game 2 of the year. All right, let's see what else. Tennessee -7.5 at Florida. It's 7.5 at home for Florida against Tennessee. You get 7.5.
Ooh. Yeah, give me Tennessee.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take Florida there. Yeah. I'll take the points there. LSU is a 9-point favorite at Mississippi State that day, and Georgia is a 24-point favorite over South Carolina that day at home. I would take South Carolina +24 because Georgia early in the year sometimes Georgia has those games they win by 14 or 17. And
LSU Mississippi State, give me the Bulldogs.
Okay.
Hell State.
All right, Hell State. Let's see what other games we got of note. September 23rd, that's Florida State, Clemson. Ohio State -7 at Notre Dame.
Ooh.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
I take Notre Dame at home.
I'd say, there we go. Notre Dame.
All right. Ole Miss gets 16 at Alabama on September 23rd. Right now, Ole Miss plus 16 at Alabama.
I think at Alabama, I'm going to take the Tide here.
I bet that number comes down before that game.
Yeah.
I bet that number won't be that high when that game happens. Arkansas gets 12.5 at LSU right now.
Yeah. Let me get Arkansas.
That's a lot. That's a lot. South Carolina gets 13 at Tennessee. Let's see what else we got here. Arkansas gets 19 at Alabama. I'm not laying 19 to Arkansas. I'm not going there. I'll take Arkansas plus the 9. Alabama wins the game by a couple of touchdowns, but I'm not going to go 19. I'm not going to go 19. Alabama's a 10-point favorite over Tennessee at home. Third Saturday.
Yeah, give me Bama.
LSU is a 17-point favorite at home against Auburn right now.
17?
17. You get 17 with Auburn at LSU.
Yeah, give me Auburn.
I love look-ahead lines. We're talking about lines. Georgia's a 21.5 point favorite against Florida. Jacksonville.
21.5?
21.5. When was the last time Georgia was a 21.5 point favorite over Florida?
Was that last year? Did we talk about that? What was the highest that they? Well, we talked about it last year.
It was high last year, but it wasn't that.
It was like one of the highest. The highest was, I can't remember what the number was.
I'm going to save these for when the season comes and see what the lines are then. Alabama's a 7-point favorite over LSU at home on November 4th. Okay, I got to find the Iron Bowl. Where's the Iron Bowl?
But it's
all right.
10.
It's at Auburn.
Ooh, 7.
14.
Wow.
Alabama's a 14-point favorite at Auburn right now.
Not a whole lot of love
when the
for
game
Robbie
comes,
Ashford.
It's liable to be 10.5 right now. Michigan is a 3-point favorite over Ohio State at home. You know what? I'd take Michigan. I'll tell you that right now. I will take Michigan. 3? I'll take Michigan.
I'll take Michigan.
I'd take Michigan. I'm going to print these out. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back. Phone lines go open now. Wolverine Dan, you can come back. Is that the Phillip Holding? Is that right? The Phillip's Holding?
Yes.
All right, the Phillip will jump in there as well. You can jump in too. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddysburgerbar.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
I'm Olympic gold medalist Rowdy Gaines, and I'm recommending you register for the 40th Annual Alabama State Games, happening June 9th through June 11th in Birmingham. Athletes of all ages and abilities will participate in any of the 25 team or individual sports. Registered athletes have the opportunity to win up to $4,000 in academic scholarships to add to the over $335,000 already awarded. Registered at alagames.com. That's ALAGAMES.com.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them. When I chose the garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
This is the only place for Drew DeArmond, Wes Neighbors, and of course, Thom Abraham.
I never met him, but I hear that he's a man of character.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
No, it's not Bassmaster Radio, I know. A lot of times when you hear that music there, which is also the theme music for Bassmaster Radio, you think we're coming back to... Welcome back to Phoenix Boats, Bassmaster Radio. This segment of the show brought to you by 13 Fishing.
Bassmaster Radio. I always love it.
The Gerald Swindle line of G2 reels and meta rods, fished by Thom Abraham. Did not get much of a workout this past Saturday with those things. A lot of casting, not a lot of catching. Ray Dog says somebody's got to explain what the hell is going on with this Alabama baseball thing, and that got a coach ran out. I don't know if he's listening or not. If he's listening, hopefully we gave him a little bit. There's not a lot of detail, folks. It's damning that the coach got fired, but I'm not going to speculate that the coach was involved in any kind of insider information. Piecing this together, the timing of the big bet that was made in Ohio and the fact that the starting pitcher was scratched
on Friday night and that they were going with a bullpen game, basically going with a reliever to start the game. This is just me talking now. This is just my speculation because they're targeting Alabama. They're not targeting LSU. It's Alabama. My thought would be that somebody in that room leaked out to a friend or a bettor in Ohio that, hey, by the way, our starting pitcher's not going tonight. That doesn't mean it was Brad Bohannon. I'm not asperging Brad Bohannon, but he's responsible for his program, so maybe that's why he takes the hit. It looks awful for Brad Bohannon. But is he responsible for the sins of his players? Well, kind of. Yeah, I guess, but you would think that if just a player said it, you know what I mean, that you wouldn't bust the coach's stones too much over that. In combination with the other thing, maybe, with the lawsuit about the pitcher who, they said had the yips and he actually had an injury. I mean, they did that guy dirty. Unless he is involved. If Brad Bohannon is involved directly, his career's over. Career's over. Now, let me go to the lines. We got a number of calls, so let's try to get through them. Philip is up. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
Sup? Sorry, Wolverine, Danica. You lose. Hey, so I've been screwing my text thing up.
Yeah.
I got you as Thom Show.
Yeah.
And Thom Text. And I texted you this big thing about our conversation the other day. We were talking, AAA, AA baseball. Yeah. And I realized I texted it to the show because I really thought that I would get a response from you, but I didn't. But I realized that was an error of my ways. How you doing there, Wolverine Danica? Are you liking this?
When was the last time? Well, I got Bonanza is the best. That's the show. You don't have my personal number, do you?
No.
Oh yeah, so that's the only text number.
Yeah. Broke up or something. I don't know what happened there.
The only number you got the users in the 732-982-7469 number, and I got your text today on it. I will say we get a lot of them. I don't respond necessarily to every single one, but I don't remember getting one about minor league baseball.
So all right, real quick, it harkened me back. So I was like probably 8 years old. My mother died of cancer when I was 6 years old. Mm-hmm. One of my all my brothers and sisters are much older than me. So one of them was in Richmond, Virginia, working for voluntary services. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's kind of like a missionary type thing. But anyway, so I spent the summer with my sister Cindy in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
Got lost on Vine Street. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, they were the Richmond Braves.
Yep. For years.
And also, wasn't, the Toledo Mud Hens. Was that the Red Sox?
No. The Mud Hens were the Detroit Tigers.
Okay. All right. I was wrong on that. Anyway, so I'm an 8-year-old little kid. Mm-hmm. Here comes the Norfolk Tides to play the Richmond Braves. So my sister Cindy takes me, to a game, and I'm freaking out. I'm loving it. This jackwagon, this is one of the reasons I hate the Braves. This jackwagon fan literally threw beer on an 8-year-old kid for rooting for his, at the time, Tidewater Tides. This is pre-Norfolk Tides.
Right.
But literally threw beer on me.
You come at the Kings, you better not miss.
But that's not right.
8-year-old kid, Tom.
We're not endorsing throwing beer on an 8-year-old kid. Is that where you got your taste for beer, though? I mean, maybe you smell it a little bit, and you lick your face a little, and hey, that tastes kind of good there.
No, it was. Okay. I don't know what it was. It was bad. It might not have even been beer, if you know what I mean. Literally at a AAA baseball game in Richmond, Virginia, Dude threw something liquid on me at 8 years of age for rooting for my Tidewater Tide. Hence my hatred for the Atlanta Braves.
All right.
And you know,
the Braves are better.
Advanced my fanhood, the New York Mets, who suck, by the way. Can I get that out of the way? We're losing at the rate that the Braves are winning.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Right now.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets.
Maybe you need to spend a little more money, on payroll. You're only 5 games back, 16 and 15. Of course, that's even worse than the Yankees.
The other day, dude, we were a half a game back.
Now you're 5.
The other day.
Yeah.
Just the other day. We were
half
a game back.
You know why? It's because the Braves are 14 and 3 on the road. I mean, think about that for a minute. They're 14 and 3 on the road. It's crazy.
Is there a fix then? Are the umps helping them? Is that what's going on? Because this needs to stop. It really does.
All right. So does this phone call. Let me get to the next guy. Are you done? Can I move on? I'm just saying. I love you. You got anything else you need to say?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
out.
All right. He's out. You didn't even give me a how about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? I got a visitor. Grizz.
Betty Boop.
Yeah, Betty Boop is here. So I think she's.
It's even better when you can see.
I think the Junkyard Babe is back from her Bible study, and she hears her in the other room or something.
I heard her barking earlier.
Yeah, well, that was when I left the room to go get an iced tea. Brandon is up next. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Pretty good. I'll tell you why Moulton didn't catch that ball.
Why?
He was trying to shave some points for the trifecta. He knew what was up.
It's the pick two.
Pick two.
Yeah, people can say what they want, but I always liked John Copuella. I'm happy with the guy we got now, but me and Copuella, we kind of understood each other at a time when the Braves didn't want to win; they needed to win.
Yeah,
he just pissed off too many people. So
yeah.
I think if the Darius Miles situation never happened, that Bohannon doesn't get thrown out the door like this. I think.
You think that this is okay? So they're sending a message. I think
they're sending a message. I think it's got a little bit to do with it. I don't know I don't think it would have happened like this because you had to bang 3 hookers in the Crown Plaza Hotel to get unceremoniously fired, which happened 20 years ago today. I mean, that used to be the standard. Now
but this day and age, it's a completely different deal. I just hope that he isn't directly involved. I mean, obviously something came out of that locker room and out of that clubhouse, but I hope that he is not directly involved. I really do, because I like Brad Bohannon. I hope that he is not directly involved.
If he is, it's bad. He's going to get.
If he is, it's really bad. I mean, if this was information he leaked, it would be really bad. But I don't even like to speculate about that without knowing something more.
Yeah, he's going the John Copuella, Trevor Bauer, see you in Tokyo. Better learn to speak Japanese because that's where you're going if you want to be involved in baseball. If he did that, it's bad.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Bad. So this line you gave a minute ago, all these under and overs.
Well, not under and overs. They're actual betting lines.
I'm saying the betting line. So we're not going to incorporate this into the show and make it a competition, or we're not going to go ahead and make our picks now and then hold them week by week where we're going to take them or not and see who wins.
Now, are you talking about the lines? Or you talking about the win totals for the NFL? You talking about the lines for the college games? So you want action like now? You want to take Alabama minus 10.5 against Tennessee? That's an interesting concept. Maybe I would do something like that. A little future, different kind of future factor. I'll just randomly. You know what? You're onto something, Brandon. What if I just randomly picked 3 games from the future list It did a trifecta each week over the summer. It just randomly picked 3 games: Alabama, LSU, Florida State, Florida, and it just picked 3 random games. That's not a bad idea. I mean, I don't know if that's what you're talking. I don't know if that's your exact idea, but that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
We could either do them all, or you could do them like that. If some way, somehow, some Lawler's Barbecue is involved in winning, I am damn.
No, I think just pick 3. I mean, I'll just take 3 games each week and throw them. I like this idea.
Grizz better get a bigger legal pad.
I might be having an idea. All right. Are you done? Are you done now so I can get to Derek? Just trying to knock some calls out here.
Can't wait to hear from Derek. Roll Tide, brother.
All right, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, brother.
See, there's Wolverine Dan. All right. Derek is up.
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, I just wanted to call and talk to you about the betting line thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not even an Alabama fan, but I heard you going over the list, and what does it say about Alabama not having a quarterback at the moment, but they're favored by almost every game they predicted to play?
Because for 10 years, 12 years, they've been playing winning football regardless of who lines up at quarterback, even if it's Jake Coker or Blake Sims, or doesn't have to be a Heisman candidate. I mean, I think that's what you're telling me is that, look, it's a program thing. You know what I mean? Sure, you had 4 quarterbacks that were all Heisman candidates, but now it's a program thing, and they're going to roll out an A.J. McCarron, or they're going to roll out a Blake Sims, or they're going to roll out a Jake Coker, and they're still going to win to some level.
Right. Do you see them going back to the way they used to be before they started getting all these quarterbacks and being more run-heavy?
What I see them being is somewhat more run-heavy, because I think in this college football you still have to be able to throw the ball. So I see them being more run-heavy. But what I really see is them going back to being, more disciplined, because they for 3 years have been very undisciplined. They've been near the bottom of the country in penalties against for 3 years. I mean, this has been uncanny, the stupid pre-snap penalties that this team has been committing. They said 17 penalties. In their 2 losses last year, they had 15 penalties and 17 penalties. That is absolutely not winning football. Then the other thing is, I think they'll get back to being better defensively. I think with Kevin Steele, that's the thing, is that, you cover up a lot if you can play great defense. You can cover. You don't have to have a dynamic offense. You can be Georgia. You know what I mean? Georgia just won 2 national championships with a midget walk-on at quarterback. Oh, I can't say midget anymore. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels weird even talking about the fact that Alabama just doesn't feel like Alabama this year. Being from Alabama, but I'm not an Alabama fan.
Yeah, I think Alabama will be fine. I think they'll be fine. All right, man.
What do you think about Auburn?
I think Auburn is going to be better, but I still think I think it's 7 games is the high watermark. I think 7-5 is a great start to the Hugh Freeze era. I think they're going to be better. They're going to be, but they still have to. He doesn't have the quarterback that's going to help him contend for the SEC championship. I'm not going to say SEC West, because they're never going to compete for an SEC West, because there's not going to be an SEC West after this year. This is the last year of the SEC West, and they're not going to be there. But within 2 or 3 years, I think they're a player to get to the SEC championship game if they get the right guys in there, and they just don't have the right guy at quarterback, But they can win 7 games, They'll be better.
Right.
All right, Derek. Good job by you, man.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Let's get a break. We'll come back. Final segments next. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is "We show up." Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Come see your Rocket City Trash Pandas take on the Tennessee Smokies Thursday for Star Wars Night at Toyota Field. Come dress as your favorite Star Wars character and be one of the first 1,500 fans through the gates to receive a free Panda Wars commemorative cup. Get your tickets now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it! You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
What have you done with those plans? What is thy bidding, my master?
There is a great disturbance in the force.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. I think he got distracted by said Betty Boop or something like that, or maybe the JYB is back or something. Yeah, I can hear him talking in the background. I don't think he realizes that it's so close to time that we're literally about to go to break. Welcome into the Thom Abraham Show. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back.
No, okay. I don't know you were coming back so quick. Did you come back quick, or was it me?
No, we needed to come back quick. Yeah. No.
Okay.
It was set up like it was,
okay.
but.
All right. That's a good job. Football Friday. You know what? I think Brandon is onto something. Wouldn't it be cool to do summertime Friday trifectas with 3 random games?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I think it would be cool as hell.
And remember, we talked about this before. During the season, we need to get like some guest pickers to go up against our said picks too.
No, that'd be good for during the season.
Yeah, during the season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that would be good during the season. Don't forget this idea that you're having. Just like you forgot the idea to play Happy Trails.
Yeah.
At the end of the show.
It's been one of those days.
Well, just like I forget to be sitting in my desk when it was time to return to the show.
It was Betty Boop. It's okay.
No, but my grandkids, 3 of my grandkids came by, and so she's freaking out. All right, that's going to do it for us. Football Friday is tomorrow. Up next, it is the Paul Feinbaum Show, right here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota.